Hi guys, it's Friday, and of course it's Friday Market Matters. We're in our cafe of our little office because of course it's the weekend just before Chinese New Year. I think a lot of people are watching this, maybe you're already on the roads or you're planning to be on the road, so we cannot emphasize enough that you should all be very, very safe on the roads. And if you see a black Johor car racing, let it pass. In case it's going back to Johor. But yeah, it is the weekend before Chinese New Year, and you know what I look forward to at this time of the year, Charlotte, besides you looking very pretty in your
snacks,
Chong Sam.
probably more drinks.
More snacks, more drinks, Chong Sam, a lot of Muhiba feelings, and of course Petronas's Chinese New Year ad, which makes you cry. It's called Rubber Boy today, and it's talking about being grateful for being grateful for what you have and not so much what you have not. But some people have taken it to mean something else.
Every year Petronas will roll out similar, very sentimental kind of advertisements every year.
Well, I don't know. I think Ola Bola is probably a very good Chinese New Year movie because it says you will believe again. So, talking about believing again, KLCI actually closed 5.69 points, 0.3%, 4% up. It's been up the past couple of days at 1662.46. It dropped actually on 0.32% week on week from what, because last week's Friday was bonkers, 4 billion ringgit, when usually per day trading is just under 2 billion.
So I think actually the liquidity is coming back to the market after New Year, after January 1st this year. Arvin Huang Capital Research, I looked at a report today. It says uncertainties remain despite strong month-end closing last month, and concerns over China's slowdown, global growth prospect and sliding commodity prices remain. We're going to talk more about China's economy slowdown later.
Slowdown. In inverted commas. But we did have a slowdown closer to home. Malaysia's exports actually grew about 1.4%. So much slower than what the economist was forecasting. It's up on higher E&E sales, electronics sales and timber-based products, but it's not been an easy thing, and with all the controversy still swirling, 1MDB, I mean, it's going to continue to be, it's going to be a bugbear, and the administration has to still think about it.
So export is also down because of sluggish earnings from liquefied natural gas. The exports of other commodity prices, other commodities like palm oil, palm-based products and natural rubber also fell as well. Now, E&E accounted for 36.3% of total exports in Malaysia. I think this is one of the things that is really strong growing in Malaysia. And timber products contribute about 2.9, about 3% of total exports.
Okay, so let's move on to what actually made us a little bit, actually happy and confused this week. TPPA, the most controversial words you'll hear outside of other things. Okay, I can't think of anything clean. So basically, it made us happy and sad because it was historic this week. MET Minister Datuk Sri Mustafa finally signed the controversial agreement. The controversial agreement started selling in New Zealand, and as you can see, not everybody was happy about it. It's all about having the good side and having the bad side. It's interesting also to note, right, the WTO, World Trade Organization, has never had a deal. In the 2 decades plus, our WTO has never been able to have made its 160 members agree on even the simplest things. So
but these 12 countries actually came together and signed a pact. I'll take the happy part. The signing of TPPA actually represents 40% of GDP in the world, worth about 30 trillion US dollars. It's about 126 trillion ringgit. Then this agreement actually came after 5 years and 19 rounds of tough negotiations. So I think we should give some credits to all these people. I
have no idea how they did it. WTO has 160 members, 2 decades plus, and they've never even hammered a deal out. It's ludicrous. I wonder what... Okay, so what's the bad part about it and why people are protesting? Former Malaysian Premier Tun M actually did reject the idea of having the trade pact, but he's also had a slightly contentious relationship sometimes with especially US, who actually looks like the main pin of the TPPA. So what they're going to do is it's going to be a lot of free trade laws. It gives giant nations like America, allowing them to penetrate local industries, and it competes with local goods and services. And never mind, let's not forget, Tun M has been the biggest advocate of the local car, the Proton, of course.
So that would actually hurt, local businesses like small and medium enterprises in Malaysia.
But it's good for us.
We have been, those people, they have been fighting very hard with giant stores like Eon, Carrefour and all that. So they will continue to struggle in this kind of economic
Rising cost of medicine though, that's one of the things people keep warning about. That one I'm not so worried, because I'm a great believer in the socialist belief that education and healthcare should be free, not that I'm one myself, but it's one of those things that I think everybody should have equal access care. That's the last thing we want. Moving on to something else that's sad, of course, is the issue of foreign workers. It was all over the headlines this week. if you actually pick up a copy of The Edge weekly, that's also one of the main stories we're talking about. This week was levy on foreign workers. We're talking about almost a doubling of the cost. And Top Glove was one of the first to come out. The chairman actually came out and said, hey, look, this ain't kosher. This ain't kosher because for the very simple reason that, you know, you are making a very, very high cut and we have to cut 5% of our workforce.
Foreign workforce. Now, The Edge Weekly, our colleagues actually wrote a story on too steep a hike and new levy rates of 2,500 will be implemented in these few sectors, manufacturing, construction and services sector. Thank God domestic helpers are exempted.
Yeah, okay, so the thing is, right, we've been talking about it this whole week because plantation guys are the ones feeling the burn. Come on lah, how much do you not love them? Already they're hit by low prices. Now you're going to take away a workforce that's almost, and I quote a report on this, 78% of the people that are out there on the field. And now here's the thing for me. Fine, you want to raise taxes, raise levies, fine, everybody has to make money. But why the steep jump? And I know it's not popular to raise a tariff. People just shake at that. But shouldn't a gradual one be more accepting than something that's flipped? And you wonder whether or not, what is it that's pressing the government to push it up so much?
Actually, Nadia, you're right. People are actually shocked by the PM's statement. He said that they are going to restructure the levy rate system, and these will actually hurt all of the industries in Malaysia, because most of them, like construction, they are hiring a lot of foreign laborers, a lot of foreign workers to help building bridges.
Yeah, exactly. And the low ringgit doesn't help either because it makes them tougher on them to bring the money to bring back. But anyway, let's just finish up because we're running out of time on what actually the only thing that made us happy this week. Well, it is Chinese New Year. We're talking about China. No, we're not racist. But the reason is because this weekend we'll see a migration of almost 6 million people as almost everybody in China either goes out or goes back home. I don't even know what 6 million people look like. Can you imagine that in your head? How many
Well, we have 30 million people in Malaysia, so it's about 5.
Yeah, exactly. So can you imagine you're entirely making a whole state actually kind of move?
So, but surprisingly, history it says that GDP only grew 6.9% in 2015, slowest in 25 years in China. But we still see a lot of Chinese, all these people, they want to go out and have fun during Chinese New Year, during the long weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So we will actually see how this goes because as much as they talk about people aren't spending, people aren't doing this, they are still spending, but what are they spending on? It's always the way that you rejig.Maybe you don't buy your Rolex, but you buy a tag. That's the way it is. And even I think this is great because these guys are still traveling, they're not staying put. Gateways like Hong Kong, Singapore, they're seeing a great boost from all of this. I don't know about us. Japan also saw a huge number. In fact, Kansai International Airport, which serves Osaka, I actually saw a report that they actually doubled up their staff so they can deal with it.
So actually one of the economists actually say that, Chinese people, they are not going to Europe anymore. Not really that much because of the Paris terrorist attack a few months ago. But recall last year, November 11, e-commerce giant Alibaba broke its record sales on China's Singles Day. So it's not just...
I think it was 1 billion in 8 minutes.
About 91.2 billion yuan for the entire day.
Yeah, so China is still the consumer of the world. Let's see whether or not that pushes us. But that's all for us actually for this week. I'm Nadia Hassan, she's Charlotte Chong. And of course, if you want any more, the paper's already out because of course it's the Chinese New Year weekend, a nice little bit of reading. More than anything else, guys, I'm wishing you all safe journey. Have a very, very good weekend. And we'll see you next week.